I got two hands, I got my mouth, I know how to earn money.
Comet. Scientists talked about orbits, gravity, collision.
Breaking news tonight as we monitor this rapidly evolving situation.
It took five.
Wow, what I've learned. And we'll discuss that. Oh, there they go. I was actually about to see a movie, but I'll wait a little while. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Buenos tardes. Interesting research I've done. The one good thing I've been doing that I didn't realize how good it was for me and my brain. That's right, my brain. Research, reading, not surfing, but looking up information, reading it, and absorbing it saves your brain. Imagine that. I take a certain medication at night that generally was made for one thing but helps you with another, but it actually is known to decrease cortisol levels by, I don't know, umpteen percent. Ain't that amazing? Guess I'm doing something right. I must be. So, in other words, you've always heard that before. Keep your and. Not that I suggest anybody stay on YouTube, but having debates, not aggravated stuff, but speaking about stuff on YouTube, sharing your wealth of experience and knowledge is actually a good thing. And you're using your brain, and it's not just laying there gathering dust and mold. That's an excellent thing to debate, to speak, to discuss. All is very helpful. Now, the very medicine I've been taking for quite a few years actually physically lowers your cortisol levels. Imagine that. I know somebody that, if he ain't on it already, he should be taking it. Well, I know a few people, more than a few people. Anyway, that's a little bit of tidbit of information here. I want to watch a movie, but I think doing research, and I don't mean listening to a bunch of shit shows on YouTube. I'm talking about, take advantage of the internet. Take advantage of the information that's available at your fingertips. Take advantage of all this knowledge from this little device you're holding in your hand. It's amazing. It keeps your brain active. And you know what happens when you become inactive. Well, obviously with the body, your blood flow, oxygen level, blah, 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 blah. So it makes sense. I don't suggest getting into high-stress arguments with people on here. No, I don't mean that. Another little tidbit in the morning, and that's why if I do any shows in the morning, it's going to be a little later than normal, I think, because one of the things that was discussed, try waiting an hour before you decide to go on the internet or YouTube. 1 hour. Do some breathing exercises, drink water to hydrate, and do not take a very hot shower in the morning when you get up. That could lead to a heart attack. See, there's a lot of things you don't know, but there's a lot of things I don't know either. But simply by reading, you come into this information. Morning is supposed to be like your sanctuary. Don't be in a big rush to go to work. Get up at a good time. That you've got plenty of time. Eat a good Mediterranean breakfast or something. Allow yourself to breathe. Do some breathing exercises. Swing your hands around in your arms. Move around. Get your blood circulating. Don't take a shower yet. Wait till you've been awake. Okay. Drink some room temperature water. Don't drink any cold water. And wait about an hour before you're going to have any caffeine related. So my teas in the morning have to wait an hour later. And just figure what time do you get up in the morning. You know what time you get up, right? Just do this technique. Don't immediately go on YouTube and listen to who's been talking about you or make a show right away. If you're in a stressful mood or something you heard, you want to react to it, can it. Don't do any cell phones, laptops, nothing for about an hour after you get up. If you can. If you can. Some people are creatures of habit. I usually am, but allow yourself to fully wake up before you're going to, immerse yourself in the stress of social media. That's a really no-brainer, actually. No hot showers right away. Yeah, there's a guy who's been doing the same routine for a long time, but then it happened, and 2 hours later he's feeling fine, showered up, but you don't involve yourself in a lot of stress when you get up. If you're married or have a partner, the last thing you want to do in the morning is to get into any politics or get into any arguments, or if you and your wife or partner get into that a lot, I suggest to hold it for later on. Okay, when you're fully awake, your body is oxygenated, you've been moving your blood. Only take a warm shower, don't take a hot shower. It's something to do with vessel dilation or something in there. A lot of people like really hot showers. I like it warm, not extremely hot. And I'll usually wait a few hours after I'm up before I'll even take a shower, so I'm doing it correctly. So far, so good. A lot of little things that have to do with the longevity of your life and your happiness, and by following simple rules. Sure, it has to do with diet. I talk about that all the time. Of course it does. No doubt. But I think the simple things, like when you get up in the morning, you just got to refrain from. Okay, so you're waking up in the morning. You're laying in bed. You're opening up your eyes. Yawning, whatever. Oh, you're just getting up. Okay, relax. Sit in your bed for at least 10 minutes. Allow your breathing to come back to normal respiration. Okay? Put any ill thoughts out of your head. Greet the new day like it's your last day, and you should. Don't think about stressful things you heard on YouTube or things like that. Again, don't get into any politics with your partner, wife, girlfriend, whatever the hell she is, I don't care, or your boyfriend. Put the phone down. Don't check for messages from work if you're a worker. Allow your messages to be later on after you've gone through everything I just said. Hydrate though. Drink enough water. Hydrate. Put a tiny bit of salt in it too. All right, so what do? You go to sleep, you wake up in the morning. And when you wake up in the morning, wait 10 minutes before you get out of bed, especially as you get older. Slowly get out of bed. Let your blood start flowing naturally. You follow me? Okay. Stretch out a little bit your arms. You may want to kind of frail what do they call it? Your arms around a little bit. Just, finagle them just up and down, round and round. Lift your legs a little bit, your knees up a little bit. Don't get into rigorous exercise yet. First thing I will tell you, the worst thing you could do is get into some really heavy-duty exercise after you just got up. Save that for when you're fully awake, your body's fully oxygenated and nourished, and you are hydrated properly. All right? Don't get into an argument with your wife or anything before you're going to go out and work out to the gym. Don't do that. The worst thing you can do. Don't get into an argument with anybody on YouTube. I know it's hard for some of you, but, don't do that either. That's some good tips to stay alive, really, and some things that you never even think about. Let's face it, we're all attached to our communication equipment, our cell phones, laptops, and all that. Some of you do it for a living. You work at home. You're always on your laptop. And some of you are working off schedule, too. We could set, you talk about algorithms on here. Well, your body has its own algorithms. and melatonin production and everything else. It gets really just fucked up. It's like jet lag in a way, where your job, because you're talking to people in America, you're here in the Philippines, you have to wind up working at night and sleeping during the day. It kind of sets your system off in a bad direction. It really does. Try to go to bed at the same time. As far as waking up at the same time every morning, that's all according to your body rhythm or what's going on with you. Now, another thing, why do people use CPAP machines? Generally, people that are using that are very overweight and their respiratory system is lowered. It's just like when I take certain medicine at night to help me sleep, it will lower my respiratory system. It could be dangerous if you mix it with anything else, or if you're inconsistent with your doses. As long as you're staying at the same dose and you're not challenging your body that you need more and more and more, that's when it gets dangerous. In my situation, I stay at the very lowest dose possible. I don't deviate from it. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. But go to bed at the same time, keep up a routine. But again, when you wake up in the morning, give yourself 10 minutes to kind of like relax in bed a little bit, to realize you just woke up, you look at the clock. Oh, I'm up early or whatever. Okay, I'm going to lay here for 10 minutes. As I said, get your respiration back up, get your blood flow going again before you do anything. What's the first thing you should do? Get up out of bed, sit on the side of your bed, upright, and make sure your blood flow is going, you got your respiration back. Okay? And first thing, go get some room temperature water. Try to drink at least an 8-ounce glass, preferably 16-ounce glass, before you have any coffee or tea. Okay? That'll be a good morning for you, right there, if you can follow those rules. I pretty much do a lot of this stuff, maybe 75% of what I just talked about. But now that I know more about it, I'm going to practice that more. But don't get into a heavy-duty argument with anybody in the morning. Don't get on YouTube and start yelling at each other. Don't think about the stress of YouTube. In fact, if you can, just get off YouTube. Okay, that'll help you out a lot, I'm sure. I'm sure you got more important things going on in your life than, what somebody's talking about, or how you're going to get even with them, or whatever. It'll take years off your life, on top of any bad habits you have, and being stressed all the time if you are. But the one good thing about the medicine I take, which I usually use to help me sleep, it lowers your cortisol level. See, I didn't know that other than a couple of weeks back, 3 weeks back. It actually lowers your cortisol level. I had no idea. I said, wow, it's a benefit. So, hey, at my age, if I've been on this medicine for so long, you stay on it. Now, why do you do that? And that applies to other medications too, but talk to your doctor. You may need to stay on something. Okay. Because it's certain medicines could be killer, certainly if you abruptly get off it. But if your body's been used to taking a certain type of medicine for a long period of time, you try to get off it, even if you do it gradually, it could kill you. Yeah, it could kill you. So, according to what your age is, if you started a medicine that you think could be detrimental to your body or something, you might consider if you're a younger age, get off it. If you've been on it for 10, 15 years or whatever it is, and you're at an older age already, I'm not a doctor, and I don't want to give you this advice, but talk to your doctor about it. He might suggest that, well, if you're at this age and such age, if I were you, it's been doing you good, whatever, stay on it, because the hardest process is going to be, I'm not talking about heroin or anything, shabu, not talking about that. The hardest thing is to get off it. That's when a lot of things at an older age falls apart, if not completely. It is probably one of the hardest things you can do. Now, I've never been on heroin or anything like that, but if you could imagine how hard people who are on heroin and other drugs, what it took them to get off that, and how horrible and painful it was, well, think about being on a medicine that the doctor's been telling you to take for X amount of years, And you just cannot abruptly get off that. You cannot go cold turkey on certain medications. You can. You could be causing more damage than good. So, why am I talking about this? Well, because I was just reading something. As I said, I'm not sitting in a chair all fucking day. I'm trying to do things very productive in my life. And I'm trying to do recreational things that I like to do every day. It does incorporate some exercise. It does incorporate entertainment like watching movies, which I'm trying to go watch right now. It does incorporate keeping my blood moving. It does incorporate keeping my brain going by having a show, by reading stuff on the internet. I don't mean surfing. I don't mean surfing on the internet. I'm talking about finding an interesting article or an interesting story to listen to. Um, a small example, there was a true story about this family who went on a sailboat, beautiful sailboat, and the guy, his wife, and about three other kids. His oldest was 16. Anyway, they hit a reef. Boat was falling apart. I won't go through the whole story, but the kid pretty much was the savior. They did get saved, but what they went through, what these people went through, is an interesting story. So it caught my attention. And I'll read stuff like that. I like some good stories, but I like something that's not necessarily fiction. You know, I like some of the nonfiction stories, not made up by AI and crap like that. It's so fun. And there's so much of that on here right now. I don't want to listen to a bunch of Boulder Dash, you know. I want to listen to real stories. People trapped on an island, they get wrecked or something, or, you know, great true to life stories that have actually happened to people and how they dealt with it. Maybe they were in the wilderness or something, they got stuck or lost, or things like that that really get your mind thinking and it puts yourself in a situation. What would I do? You kind of drain your brain a little bit. What would I do in a situation like that? It's keeping your, thank you for the thumbs up finally. It's keeping your brain going. And if it means you're going to come on YouTube and listen to a bunch of ass wipes, I mean, if that somehow does you positive, then God bless you, you know. God bless you. May your God bless you. I would probably stay out of stressful situations on there because they do add up. But I'm telling you, two things. Before you get online in the morning and before you go to bed at night, practice pretty much what I just talked about. Now, see, I may go to bed as early as 9 or 10. It's usually about 10 o'clock, really. But I allow myself certain time to fall asleep. The mistakes I make with that, I like to listen to some stories. If it's good stories on the internet, that's good. But you try not to go on YouTube and listen to some idiot on there or somebody yelling at somebody else, pointing fingers, making allegations. No, you want to avoid that like the plague. Save that for midday if you really want to do that. But before you go to bed, you want to relax. Listen to some soft music, ethereal music. If you got one of little machines that make stars on the ceiling or galaxies or something like that, you could use that too with some music. You can just lay there with your significant other and just don't say a word to each other. And just appreciate each other's company before you fall off to sleep. Make a routine that you do every night as well as you do when you get up in the morning every single day. That makes a world of difference. But don't approach your morning with, oh God, I've been doing this shit. I get up at 5 and then I'm on YouTube. But it's also helpful because that's when I do my best thinking, believe it or not, is in the morning, actually. Get a release of some sort, you know. And it sometimes helps. It helps to express yourself. That's good for cortisol levels and stuff like that. So some habits are good, what you do when you wake up in the morning. But I actually do, when I wake up, I will go to the side of the bed, feet to the side of the bed, and for a few minutes, I don't wait 10 minutes, but for a few minutes, I'll sit up there, I'll sit down, and when I get up, I'm going to move my arms around. I may just bring my knees up a little bit, get the blood circulating, walk into the other room, back and forth, go get your water, 8 to 16 ounces of room temperature water. before you even drink your tea. I'm starting to really do that now because I was doing things wrong. Well, part of it wrong anyway. I'd always get a glass of water of some sort when I got up because you're parched. You're dehydrating overnight is what you're doing, and that's critical that you do that in the morning. Put a little pinch of salt. Check with your doctor on that, but a little pinch of salt ain't gonna kill you, even if you have high blood pressure. I would monitor your pressure in the morning when you get up, see what your resting blood pressure is. Have your machine right next to your bed. If you want to go through that, get your blood pressure. Okay, then midday, you want to take your blood pressure again, and then maybe once before you go to bed. Now, the best rate of resting pulse to go to bed to fall asleep is going to be 65 beats per minute. When you reach 65 beats per minute and below, you're in a perfect situation to actually fall asleep. So if it's going to be way above 65, it's going to be 70, 75, 80, you might actually have a bigger problem falling asleep. And of course, logical things like Scotty just don't get it. He's drinking coffee all day long. It gives him something to do. That's what it is. It gives him something to do. I understand that. And I guess if you're not going to drink, if you're really going to quit alcohol, I guess your best alternative is to drink something else. He could just choose to drink some mineral water. But if you're going to drink coffee all day long, that's really not a good idea. And you won't be able to sleep at night. Okay, wow, good advice from this time of day. I'm even right now contemplating what I want to have for dinner later. And I'm perfectly good with having some veggies or something. I've been doing that lately. I like my meats, absolutely. Right now, I'm craving for a damn hamburger, but I believe I have ground beef, but I don't have it defrosted. And I don't really want to go out to a restaurant for a hamburger, although I'm tempted. Here you hear them practicing out here? Same music all the time. Same drum beats, same trumpet. I don't know, man. Hey, welcome to the Philippines, it's not that bad of a place, man. It's really not. When I think about it, and I think of everywhere I lived, and there were some good key points in just about everywhere I've lived. From New York, lots of good points. Some shitty points too. Seattle, Washington, lots of great points. Like the women, the scenery, the mountains, Puget Sound, the beauty. And there were bad points too. Then Hawaii, well, yes. Hawaii, the beauty, and all that stuff. However, there were things about Hawaii that I didn't like. I don't think anything can be perfect, no matter where you live. Or you'll find reason to be upset about something. But the key thing that I could say on here is, oh man, life. Enjoy every day that you're alive, because once you're gone, that's it. There are no changing things in your life that you're doing wrong. There's no I'm sorry's that you could say to anybody once you're dead. There's no when you're dead that maybe you did a lot of wrong things in your life against people. No, you won't be able to remedy anything like that. It's over. You're gone. If you're lucky enough to be alive to say, I love you to your loved one before you go, that's a wonderful chance to do it if you're given that instead of dying suddenly. So don't die suddenly. But that's easier said than done. I got a live audience out here, a really wild audience, but I like it. They're listening. It's all right. Don't matter how many people are out here. They're listening. I appreciate it. You even got a thumbs up. Wow. Probably from one of the trolls. That's when you know you've arrived. But little simple things that even sometimes I never think about. When you get up in the morning, before you go to bed, doing this and doing that. You're busy again? See? She's always busy in the yard. She'll get up. She might be laying down for a while, like a couch potato bed or something, but she gets out there. She's sweeping up leaves, cutting grass or whatever by hand. She's always busy, 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 busy. You know, like Jim used to say, look at her go. Look at her go. Right? Well, that's a good thing. Keeping busy, moving around. Okay, you like watching movies? We all do, right? You can do that. But when you're sitting down watching, in fact, speaking of hydration, I'm going to grab a glass of water. Now I'm talking about all this shit. I got to hydrate. You know, there's nothing wrong. And sometimes it's good to occupy your mind and get your mind off other crappy shit that might be going on. I think you know what I mean. You know, it's a fantasy world. Actors, it's not real. Unless it's a documentary. And I like documentaries more. But there's nothing wrong with watching movies and sitting down or on a couch. However, like I said, every 15 minutes or so, get up, move around, walk around the other room a little bit, then come back. And do that every 15, 20 minutes. Keep your blood circulated. And hydrate. Hydrate. You gotta hydrate. You don't necessarily have to do 2.5 to 3 to 4.5 liters. Okay. No, I'm not buying that all. I'm not buying that. But you gotta hydrate for everything to work in your body. Considering what percentage of your body is actually made up of actually water. That might give you a clue. Hey girls. And having some lovely pets. You wanna go out and see lovely Gilda? Go ahead. Go ahead, girls. There you go. See, dogs too. Sure you betcha. Sure you betcha. Pardon me. I don't know, what else before I watch a movie here? I'm thinking if I want to go out for dinner tonight. I don't know what I want to do. I'm going to have a good anniversary dinner next month. I'm going to plan that out. 10 years, my brethrens. 10 years. Same woman. Never cheated on her, vice versa. 10 years, same woman. You might think that gets old. Nah, it just gets better and better with me. Better and better and better and better and better. You too can have that. Maybe. Stop being a putz, you know? Stop being an asswipe, and you might be able to get something like that and have a long-term relationship. Just like me. Okay, I'm done with my sermon. I gave you your fix for late afternoon. Hope you learned something. Live and learn, my boys. Live and learn. Oh, and notice the channel name? That's right. We're back to our roots. My Philippines Interest. The only original, often copied, but can never be the same as the original My Philippines Interest. Circa 2014. Okay? When the going is good, the good get going. And you get longevity. Been around for a while, haven't I? I sure have. Hey, wishing you good health. Wishing you love in your life. Stop being bitter. Turn your life around. Make sense of what you're doing instead of chasing your tail. And you should be okay. Of course, watch your diet. Most people eat to live, and they don't live to eat. The ones that live to eat are all these obese people that you see here on YouTube. You know, the know-it-alls, the high society of YouTube, the high roaders, people like that think their feces don't stink. Well, I hate to tell you,